my second attempt at this, riding the bike with the camera on my head. Problem is I have too much hair. It's pushing the band off of my head. So I'm in Belgrade, Serbia. It's about 1:45 in the afternoon. And I'm about to head towards New Belgrade. So I'm going to go over this bridge. Yeah, this should be different. I don't know if this is gonna be stable enough. Because, you know, it's kind of a bumpy ride. Of course, people are looking at me going, what does that guy got on his head? It's extremely warm here today. It's like 16 degrees Celsius. It's way too warm for winter time. I suppose it happens. Alright, so I'm across. So we're going over the river. If I look this direction, the sun's in my eyes. See, all the splavs are gone, except for that sunken one over there. So I'm all pedal power. I don't have the electric motor on this bike. I think I'm going to ride towards where the Yugoslavia Hotel is being torn down. First, we're going to go over here where the skateboard park is. So there was a time where I was all about this kind of stuff. I had a bail on that. Well, what I don't want to do is show you guys crashing. Oh. When that guy went. So I live in the old part of the city, which is, you know, vintage, classic, picturesque. All this area here was carved out and built in the 60s. Very much a planned Soviet expansion, and it's interesting to me as well. In fact, there's probably more younger people here, I would imagine, just because it's cheaper to live here. And me at 57, I still got a young heart. Not too young. I was kind of born an adult. I was never a child. I don't really go for that childish kind of mentality. I like, straightforward, honest business stuff. And I go about that with friendships too. All the relationships should not be full of mischief and skullduggery. So because this is a planned city, they really planned out the huge garden areas for all these apartments. McDonald's everywhere, right? And it's the same crap everywhere. I mean, I remember McDonald's in the 60s, not 60s, in the 70s, 1970s, and it was a whole lot better than it is these days. In fact, I think the way I remember McDonald's is the way the sign looks, where it actually looked like the advertisement instead of this mangled, squashed version of that. So this building here is very impressive. It's some kind of a government installation. I was told it's kind of like where officials would meet foreign dignitaries. And it's definitely enormous. I mean, look at the size of this thing. It's got that 60s modern look, I guess brutalist style. And yeah, here's like dignitary flag row here. So isn't it interesting how this has happened? Is it because of the Hollywood sign? Honestly, that now you see like these city signs everywhere in the world. I just noticed one in Thailand, Pattaya. It's just it's a thing. I like it. I think, you know, it helps identify where you're at. So you guys, if you're watching, please hit my subscribe button. I am trying, I have like 319 subscribers and I'm trying to get to that 1,000. I promise that, you know, I will concentrate on making good videos. At the moment, this was just fun and games for me when I started doing this. But I'm coming to realize that there's potential here to make this into a business, and I am desperate for that, being that I'm an American in Serbia, and I'm at that age where, you know, all the things I know very well, they're on the outs, and even the things I know pretty well, there's people that do it better. And I want to contribute. I would like to contribute, you know, my viewpoint of things. I love being in Serbia, I gotta tell you. And I'm not the kind of person that's gonna go, hey, look at me, I'm in Serbia, look at me eat this, pliskavica, look at me. Yeah, I consider living over here too, but it's not as charming. But it has life. There's a lot of life here. I'm one of these people that I enjoy being around people, but I don't. If you can understand that. I like being around people when I'm sitting on my throne and I'm observing the populace. Not being judgmental, just observing, trying to understand. So there's a building across the way with those copper windows. That's the immigration office. Which is an important thing to know if you're trying to be here in Serbia. For Americans that are considering leaving America, Serbia is a great option. Although you have to be prepared for a number of things. People speak English here quite frequently, but unless you're, a language guru, a language savant, Srpski it's a challenging language. It's a unique cross of, the Middle East and Germanic and Italian. And the foods represent that too. But I watched the Balkan Boys video this morning. It really harkens to the Middle East. There's a lot of that culture mixed in here. Yeah, price-wise, I feel I'm 10 years too late. 10 years ago, I could have come here and killed them. I don't mean killing people, I mean I could have, my money would have gone a long ways. And now, things are getting more and more expensive all the time. But still, in comparison to America, it's a whole lot cheaper. We're not going to go through there. It's too many cars and people. So I talk about pre-birth planning a lot. I talk about why it is that we come here and why it is that I chose to be Eric. Eric's not the most beautiful. He's definitely not the most rich. But I definitely appreciate who I am and what I've learned and what I'm learning. If bad things didn't happen to me back in America, if I would have continued on my course, materially I would have wealth, comforts, and luxuries. But I don't know if I'd be any happier, to be honest with you. When you're so set up on this earth and all the finest splendor, the smallest thing can rock your world. And maybe it's just like taking a little poison every day. You get used to it when you get a little bit of bad stuff happening here and there and here and there. Enough that when something bad happens, it doesn't knock you over. Like certainly with the fires that are happening right now in Los Angeles. I don't know if my own home would have been affected, but just the overall vibe that's happening there is super depressing. And I gotta tell you, I think I left right at the right time. It's like the golden era of Hollywood. Not the golden era, but I think there was a renaissance, the second golden era, which I think was 80s, 90s, and 2000s. So I'll go down this street just to show you guys. Across the street here, on the other side of this fence, and what rubble there is left over there, that was the Yugoslavia Hotel, which was a huge hotel. And it was very much, when I arrived here 2 years ago, it was still there. And about maybe 6 months ago, they started demolishing it in earnest. And it's going to be part of the, you know, the